Yep, so we're going to start in the AFC with the 7-seed Denver Broncos, the myth. The Broncos upgraded at quarterback in a big way in 2024.
That's the myth?
Yeah, they're saying it's not a myth on when you continue reading. They're saying the defense has really been the difference, not the quarterback is why they're different.
I'm going to disagree with it. I think Bo Nix has been exceptional for a rookie, both with his feet, his arm, huge fourth down touchdown to even tie the game in Cincy.
Especially better than the bum they had last year. I don't know where he ended up.
I'm going to disagree. I mean, look, the defense, obviously, they play more man than anybody. They blitz more than anybody. But Bo Nix, how about
Bo
this?
Nix looks like somebody you can build your team around.
Right. They trade Jerry Jeudy. He reignites Cortland Sutton's career. I'm going to disagree.
6th seed, Pittsburgh Steelers. The myth says the Steelers have an elite defense.
That's a myth.
The reason why they say it's not a myth is because they say it's good, not elite.
Yeah. No, that's their greatness is associated with teams that don't play there no more. I think it's a good defense. I don't think it's great. Agree?
Yeah, did just enough to make the playoffs again.
Anytime I needed him to make a big stop this year, it didn't happen.
You're exactly right about that. Against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, last play of the game.
Yeah.
No better way to lose a bet than the last play of the game.
Stay up late for that delay and you get that.
Just keep reading.
The 5th seed in the Chargers. Myth, Jim Harbaugh's coaching has elevated quarterback Justin Herbert to another level.
They're saying that's a myth.
That's a myth, yes.
I'm going to disagree. The running game's been bad. Tell me you heard this before. J.K. Dobbins got hurt. Gus Edwards got hurt. They can't do anything on first down. It's continually 2nd and 9. I think Harbaugh's had a positive effect on Herbert.
Yeah, and if I'm reading correctly, they just signed Zeke Elliott to join the playoff team.
He's going to be in the playoff team.
Yeah, but I think that he has helped Herbert. I think that he gave Herbert structure. I think it was always there for him, but he taught Herbert how to be a quarterback.
Myth for the 4th seed in the AFC, the Houston Texans. The injuries to Tank Dell and Steph Diggs sank the Texans' offense.
That's fact.
Yeah.
That's not fiction. That's fact.
And they're saying that's a myth?
Yeah, the reason why they're saying it's a myth is saying the offense has plenty of other problems, not just them.
I will say this. I do think that C.J. Stroud got gun shy, that he didn't want to get another receiver hurt, so he stopped throwing leading passes. He stopped leading the receivers. It was only safe throws that he knew you're not going to take a beating after you catch the ball. That's what hurt this team. He stopped being the C.J. Stroud that he was last year and earlier this year.
Baltimore Ravens, 3 seed. The Ravens aren't built to come from behind.
Okay, here's me defending Lamar. It's been the greatest season of his career. You want to talk all or nothing. If he falls short again and turns into a pumpkin in the playoffs, his story's written in my world. Yeah. Or he's been good enough to carry the mail. They can beat you with the run. They can beat you with the pass. I'm going to say it's a myth. I think they've gotten this thing where it needs to be. And if Lamar is really the MVP, he should be able to lead a team on the comeback trail.
See, I don't even think MVP means anything to him because it's really about the Super Bowl. He's won MVPs before, but he loses. But, yeah, I look at this team and the fact that he's doing it with his arm, the fact that he can scramble around and keep running and hold the ball for 6, 7, 8 seconds and then finds that open receiver, yeah, I do think they can come back. Now, once with Derrick Henry, they can bury you if they get the lead, but they could also come back.
Buffalo Bills 2 seed. Quarterback Josh Allen doesn't have any elite playmakers around him on offense. The reason why they're saying it is a myth is because they have James Cook being that elite playmaker.
I might take some heat for this, but whatever. I think Dalton Kincaid, when healthy, is an elite tight end option. So he's got a couple.
Is James Cook really elite?
I think so. He's a beast. Okay. Look, man, once they got Joe Brady there, and if you and please by no means don't waste your life doing this, but if you wanted to nerd out, go back to the week Joe Brady took over play calling and look at Cook's numbers since. He's been a top 5 back in the league.
Okay.
And he's got great hair. I mean, who are we kidding?
It's all about the hair.
Kansas City Chiefs, this is the worst Chiefs offense since Patrick Mahomes became the starting quarterback.
Factual. That's not a myth.
I agree. It's not.
And look, they've gotten, Hollywood Brown back. I'm sorry if I don't think that Marquise Brown is going to be the difference maker. It's a terrible offense. Kelsey, just retire already. Hell, go on tour with Taylor.
Well, you know what? No. I think with Kelsey, he finally got in football shape. It took almost the entire season, but you're now seeing the Kelsey that we thought he was going to be at the beginning of the year because he was awful. That's from all the traveling, flying the world. I don't think he was serious. Why is that? They're saying what? There was a team worse, David?
They're saying they had a worse offensive year last year is what they're trying to say here.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, because they had to go out and get Xavier Worthy because they didn't have that big play wide receiver. Okay, I could kind of see that.
Let's move over to the NFC 7 seed Green Bay Packers, the myth. The Packers can't get to the Super Bowl because they can't beat the top teams in the NFC.
That is not a myth.
That's not a myth.
They are 1-5 in their own division
and lost to the Eagles. So, 0-2 against the Vikings, 0-2 against the Lions, 0-1 against Philly. Sorry. And by the way, should have gone 0-2 against the Bears. Remember the one win and how they won?
Oh, yeah, it was the block.
Field goal with like 1 second to go. Imagine. They should have gone winless in their own division. They shouldn't even be in the playoffs.
So, yeah.
I'm disgusted by Green Bay.
So, yeah, if they have to play with the Eagles, the Lions, or the Vikings, they won't make it. Good luck with that. Oh, you start with the Eagles. Okay.
Now, again, that depends on Jalen Hurts' health. Still in protocol,
okay,
but yes.
Okay, but here's the thing. Let's say you beat the Eagles. Guess who you play next? Detroit.
Yeah.
So, yes. No, you're not going to win.
The 6 seed Washington Commanders, the myth. The Commanders are in trouble if they have to play an elite running team. They say it's a myth because they are 8-3 when allowing 120 or more rushing yards in a game.
They're in trouble because they got a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what this is.
Yeah, the playoffs are a different game.
That's it.
I think what you're going to see is the Commanders may do what the Texans did last year with C.J. Stroud. Maybe have some fun in a game. They'll win a game, but then after that, playoffs are a whole different animal, and I don't expect them to go more than just they may win the first one. I don't expect anything after that.
5th seed Minnesota Vikings. The myth, they say, is the Vikings are the same mirage they were in 2022.
That's not a myth. This is a carbon copy. The only difference is you got a ginger instead of Kirk Cousins. Period.
You know what? I won that bingo card.
It's the same damn thing. 2022, they went like 8-1 in one-score games. 2024, go look at what they did. And at the end of it, they are fraudulent because the quarterback.
So how is it a myth?
They're saying it's a myth because the defense is better than that team.
Really? Jahmyr Gibbs just scored again.
He's really good, but I get what you're saying.
Look, I like the defense, but come on, man. Really?
The Rams, the 4th seed in the NFC, the myth, they say the Stafford-Nakua connection is the key to the Rams' offense. Now, they're saying it's a myth because Kyron Williams is the real engine to the offense.
I agree with this. Mm-hmm. The physicality of that running game is the thing nobody talks about. They only focus on Stafford and weapons, but it's the running game. I'm going to agree with this take.
Yeah, because that frees up Nakua and Kupp into single coverage, and then they end up making the catches. Or, as TJ likes to say, how the bleep are they always open?
The 3 seed in the NFC, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the myth. Tampa Bay is inflated by playing in a weak division.
Why is it not a myth?
You know what? It's not a myth because in the Lions 15-2, you know who one of those 2 losses are to?
Bucks.
The Bucks.
That's what they're saying.
Where? Ford Field.
It's a myth because they are 10-7. That's not inflated and they beat good teams.
And here's the other thing. The injuries all year have tailed them too, including like now. Yeah, I didn't have on my bingo card one of my starting safeties nearly dying in a car accident. Whitehead's going to be out for weeks, might be out for the whole playoffs. Antoine Winfield's been banged up all year. They've had injuries. Offensive line was a disaster earlier in the year. Remember they had like a 4th-string tackle that Hutchinson got like 4 sacks on. It's been all year. But you know what they've discovered? This is where the Bucs are terrifying. This Bucky Irving's a real problem.
Yep.
They found a gem of a running back in the mid-rounds. He is a real problem.
The number 2 seed in the NFC, Philadelphia Eagles, the myth that says running back Saquon Barkley has been the difference maker between last season's Eagles and this season.
Myth. Defense.
That's what they're, That's why
Their
they say it's a
defense
myth.
is, hey, you don't have Matt Patricia calling your plays.
Vic Fangio's made a huge difference.
All the Bulldogs showed up.
And again, I think they simplified things a little bit. They'll play more too high. It just, and Rico's right. They have pedigree. Look, Jordan Davis is he's a really good football player. Jalen Carter, they have the defensive linemen. Look what they did in the secondary. Drafting Quinyon Williams, drafting Cooper DeJean. Look, they've added these high-end players. Mm-hmm. And it's the defense.
Bringing back CJ.
And Saquon is great, but we don't pay running backs.
Get yourself in trouble.
Finally, the Detroit Lions myth. Quarterback Jared Goff is great only because of the great players around him.
Why is it not a myth, David?
It's not a myth because it's actually Ben Johnson that made him great.
They're saying this is a myth because of his completion percentage over expectation, which is plus 4.3%, shows that he's making good decisions, not just because of the players around him.
The problem I have is you could say it about any quarterback. Like, what quarterback is doing it with next to no help? Come on, you got to have some help. It's like being Cade Cunningham with no help around you. You're not going to win a title. I think it all has to work together. So I get a little upset because, again, take a quarterback and strip away their best weapons. Would they be great? No. Why do you think Mahomes is having a terrible year?
Yeah, they're kind of just reaching with this myth here.
That's because the Lions are just really good altogether. But I thought it'd be a fun little playoff primer with myths and truths and the rest. Myth: you can't win a game of any importance with a ginger.
Or Russell Wilson.
That is, okay, that's fact.
Mr. Danger.
You can win a game with a redheaded
Let's not run out of bounds when we need to.
David,
Myth: George Pickens is a mature young man.
No, George Pickens shows up in big games.
Woo, wonderful. That is.
Nobody gets one catch like George Pickens.
Your myth.
Sufficient.
Football today.